All right, we are live. I figured we would enjoy a little bit of coffee, some water, and I could show you what I call the Ableton master template that years in the making. This has been developed over a number of years, and a lot of hours have been put into this to make it really versatile and really simple to use. I'm just going to hang out for a second, see if anyone shows up live. These days, you don't get a whole lot of organic traffic, so it takes a little bit of time. But what we're going to do, we're going to jump into this template. And indeed, Rich, you are first. Welcome. Hey, Rich. So yeah, I figured I would show you this. Today we have a promo. You could look in the description and check it out. It's a really deep discount. And after this broadcast, I'm closing it down. So this is just kind of a New Year's special, but I think that a lot of you guys will find this template to be pretty powerful. So my hope is to give you a little bit of insight of what this is all about. So yeah, just going to take a look here and see what's what. Okay, cool. Got a few of you here. If you can see and hear me, everything's cool, then just drop a hello in the comment and we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to make sure people can hear me before I dive in. All right, let's do this. And feel free to ask questions as we go, and I'll check them out. Yeah, I'll just pop that over there. You guys probably can't see that. And this here, get this out of the way. All right, cool. So this here is the Ableton master template. And when you install it, you could load it all just like so. All right, Rich, thanks. Rich is paying attention. Maybe I'll have to treat him to something nice. All right, so yeah, we've got different categories in it. It goes really deep. Let's see here. This has most, yeah, this has most of the stuff in there. But it's already installed and ready to go. But there's also, see, the template is a collection of all kinds of tools. So you just have so many different options, samples, drum loops, all these different collections of drum loops. We've got Everloop, which is a whole nother collection of different sounds and loops and things like that to get you kick-started. Filters and risers, effects, in key, which I don't have installed in here, but yeah, you can drag that in. You can see what that's all about later. Leads, synth, bass sounds, pads, reverse sounds, stabs, stutter synths, synths, waveform. This is a different synth that it doesn't automatically come loaded. I try to give you all the main stuff to keep stuff simple here. But let's just dive in. So first thing up top is we just have a sidechain channel. And this is just like a quarter note sidechain, and it just has a hi-hat going on. Because sidechain actually is better if it's reacting to something shorter. That way you have more control over the sidechain. So I just see the parts here. Every main track has a sidechain option, so you just turn this on and it will automatically sidechain the part that's already ready to go. And then you've got basic, low cut, high cut, reducing the mud by how much, bright boost, bright frequency, mud EQ, or mud Q rather, which is usually somewhere in this range. And then you've got some effects and everything. I've got basic effects set up here: delays, reverbs, panning, saturation, compression, glue compressor. All things that you may or may not want on your track is ready to go. You can just double click it and turn it on. So that makes it really, really quick. So yeah, let's get into some of the stuff. The kick machine is a really massive tool. I mean, I sell this separate as well. And what it is it's layers and layers of kicks and samples that you can create just a wild amount of different sounds. So by default, I can just kind of play this here, what we've got, if you'll see, transient sound, low, high, full, kick, and then kick rack. So if I play this, let's turn off that, and if I play this, we'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sounds making this one kick. Cool. We'll get into the bass in just a second. That's pretty cool, but we're gonna we'll turn that off for right now. And if you're not wearing headphones, you might want to hear. But basically, what we've got here with the kick machine is each one of these. We can select a different sound, and we can choose the volume level of each sound. So if we start here, just solo the kick rack. Here, click on here, and we can actually dial in the kick and frequency. Longer one, shorter, sustain release, pitch envelope, top volume, a little more snap, and then we can choose the snap frequency. And then if we want, we can add some drive. If we add some decay, you can kind of really hear that come together. Hopefully you guys can actually hear what I'm doing. Let's see. Headphones do you recommend wearing? I mean, any headphones will give you something. I'm not going to tell you what kind of studio headphones. I like these Sony 7506s. They're inexpensive, and they've got really good frequency response for, you know, around $100. So Emily says hello. I think it's Emily or Email, one of the two. So yeah, hopefully you guys can hear. So this is just the kick rack portion, right? Let's get back into this. And then I can get into the transient. So that's that snap there, and I can choose between all kinds of different transient layers. Right? And then when I find it, I can actually set the volume that I want here or here. Just to give a little more snap. With the rack, I'm going to back off the decay. Cool. And then let's go to the low frequency. It's a nice thumpy one. Cool. And then high. And if we want to listen to it by itself, we just solo it, right? And then once again, we can set the level. And then we have like a full kick. And by the way, you don't need to use all of these layers. If you're happy with one layer or two layers, you're good. Let's get some dirt in there and then we'll turn it down quite a bit. Maybe something different. So cool. So that is the kick machine. That's just the first tool available to making really great kick drums right away. Once again, if you're interested in this while watching, I've got a promo going on during the live stream. If you're not on the live stream, the promo will be over. Do you record any of the sounds you use in your tracks? And if so, what do you recommend using for this? Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can record sounds in, you can capture sounds, you can use samples. If you're asking like what kind of a interface to use, a sound card, yeah, you don't want to record with the internal sound card on your laptop or computer. I would recommend, getting something that has at least stereo in and stereo out. So that's 2 inputs, 2 outputs, and you can record one instrument at a time. If you want more capability or you want to set up a studio where you've got equipment that's already to go to record in with a bunch of separate things, you got 2 choices. You can get a mixer to run each of the sounds into your stereo sound card, or you can get a sound card that has more inputs and just send them directly into it. As far as what you're recording, synths or guitars or bass or anything like that, you can do all that. I'm not sure exactly what the question was, but yeah, that's that. Okay, so yeah, so there's the kick machine, and then we can get just directly more into sample selection here. So I've got another kick that, let me just, here we go. So yeah, once again, we got 128 great kicks here. Yeah, these samples are not messing around. And then obviously you can pitch whatever you want, add drive. You can reduce the decay and sustain. So yeah, loads of control that you've got here. And yeah, you could just simply come in here and if you want, just turn this on and you could select which kick you want. Just and so forth. And then when you find it, you can pop it in. And once again, you could actually layer these sounds as well. You just kind of less control than the kick machine. But yeah, great samples there. Claps, same sort of thing. If I drag this over. Really, really great sounds. Snare, And then we have, those are, your basic, making your basic beat with kick, snare, clap sort of stuff. And then we get into the rest of the drum groups here. And this, the reason that we have this separated is so that we could turn on sidechain here. And we could sidechain all these other parts if we want to, or we could do it individually. So we've got two different hi-hats. They're both the same thing, but a lot of times you want a couple different hi-hat sounds. So you might layer those together. And if I just drag this over, so forth. Toms, got loads of different tom drums. And yeah. So yeah, loads of different tom kits, so that not just individual sounds, but you have the pitched version of several different types of toms. So plenty of that. Got percussion. And remember, each of these you can fine tune here with pitch and attack and adding saturator, compressing it, whatever you want to do. Very, very simple to do. Shakers. Then we got Foley. So the goal here is that you can really, really quickly dial in your sounds and make your drum beat and bass line really, really quick, and then start working towards what the song's going to be all about, right? All kinds of weird Foley sounds, really fun stuff there. Got texture sounds. Loads and loads of stuff there. Crash samples. Everyone needs good crashes. So here we go. That hurts the ears a little bit. Let me turn that down. Yeah, you're not going to be hunting down for too many sounds. You're going to be in good shape. And then here, what's really cool about this, you could drag it in. I don't have it loaded necessarily. It does take up some CPU to load it up and stuff. So if your computer isn't super fast, there's also a light version that will load all of this, and then you would just come in here and load your parts, like the general MIDI kit. I think we've got it in here. Yeah. So I could drag in the general MIDI rack. Give it just a second. And if you guys got any questions, let me know. Did we get it? Come on. Okay, it still seems like it's doing its thing. Oh, maybe this. That seems more like MIDI stuff. Yeah. I think it's just taking its time. Sorry, guys. Well, so the general MIDI, basically, you can actually pull in, you could download there's loads of MIDI parts that you could download for free of almost any song you can think of. And the way that they're put together is in general MIDI, which means a kick drum is in a certain note or a key on a keyboard. The snare's in a certain place, hi-hats. So when you drag it in, it conforms and it will play the drum beat. And then with the kit, you have several choices of kicks, snares, hi-hats, and all that different stuff that you can tailor to make it totally your own. I think because it's not loading right away, I'm just going to skip that so that we don't waste too much time. But yeah, it's really, really powerful. And then we got just several tracks here for you to drag in loops and things like that. So we got 3 different audio tracks for dragging in loops. I can show you some different loops that are available just in the kit here, or you could obviously drag in your own loops as well. So like here, cowbells, hi-hats. Loads of cool stuff there. We got percussion, rides, shakers, sticks, tambourines, and then we also have Everloop. So we've got loads of bass sounds and samples that you can cut up. Loads of different ways that you can layer sounds, just tons of that. We got drones. And all of these are timed so that when you put together a beat, they're already placed in interesting places for you to build a beat really, really quick. But obviously you can change that around. As you can see, just in these loops, we've got 94 different drones. Right? We've got, once again, more hi-hats, kicks. So yeah, so you're not going to run out of much. We got some melodic stuff here. And of course, you could pitch it and rearrange and do all kinds of different stuff. So there you go on the loops. So yeah, that's what I would go to if I was just using the internal stuff. And then you could drag in and cut things up here. So those are the drums. Then we have the bass section. And hopefully the dog's not driving you crazy. We've got a kind of an acid line maker here. That's just for versions 11 and up. I added this. You have to download the Sting. It's a free thing. Once you download the whole template, you can get that. Seems like I'm getting a doorbell ring. Hang tight just a second. See, guys, we are indeed live. Sorry about that. Had a package delivered. Okay, let's go further. So, yeah, we've got kind of an acid line maker that I developed over here. As you can see, these are all different bass layers, just like with the kick drum where there were lots of layers. Got this as well. So we'll just play with some of these. I made some variations. And if you do some automation stuff like that, you can get some really crazy cool results. So yeah, that was just added. But I'm going to turn this off and just kind of show you some of the other bass sounds, what have you. So we've got subs. I have a whole different subsection here as well, because a lot of times I like to do my subs separate than my bass part, and then I'll kind of roll off some of the bass sounds over here. But let's just start with, for example, bass sound here. We can turn this on. And then it's just about selecting. So give me just a second here. All right, so we've got that. We're going to come over here. And yeah, we should be able to just turn that right off. We'll just disable that. And now, as we select, that'll turn things on. Just loads and loads of different bass sounds. And once again, you can layer different sounds. So the first two are the same sounds, but you can come in and with that sound, you could layer with another bass sound. So it just gives you a lot more variety, and you could even add a third bass sound if you want, and all these are different ones, so I'll solo this real quick. Like that's got a nice bite to it. Let's see what that sounds like all together. And then you could obviously adjust the volume of each of these sounds. On top of that, you've got the transient tracks here, so you could pick between different sorts of transients. And then once again, you can adjust the volume for each layer. So you can do a whole lot with the bass machine. So you can get pretty much any sound that you want. And then we've got the wobbler bass. This is really good with automation and stuff like that, but really very like vocal sort of sounding synth. And this one is real dirty. Bit crush action. Lots of fun to play with. Once again, I like to use LFOs and automate some of these things, and you just get some really wild results. Then we got the sub. And the sub is, let's see, where, oh, here, the sub chain. Here we go. And I've just got loads of different really great sounding subs. Once again, we go to the sub selector, and let me just, you need headphones for some of this stuff. Really, really super bassy. And honestly, with sub, you only need a few subs ever. You know, you're probably going to use like 3 subs in your whole career and be totally fine with it if you find like a certain tone you're looking for. So this gives a lot of, 24 different subs. And obviously we can filter and low pass. And so some are punchy, some are a little bit slower. It just depends on the type of sound you're going for. And yeah, that's the sub. These are subs that I've used in pretty much all my tracks. So I'm not hiding anything from you. These are all the secret weapons that I use, ready to go. And then we've got pads. I guess we don't need to solo that, but. Once again, a chain selector to select which pad sound we want. And these are meticulously sampled, like really, really solid stuff there. And then also we've got operator pads here. So this is just, and you can control the attack. A little bit more brassy sounding. Obviously, you can control the reverb and pitch LFO, all kinds of different stuff. Really fun. And then we get into the synths. Once again, while I'm showing you this, there is a link. If you don't see the link, let me know, and I'll give it to you before the end of this. And then it closes. It's a pretty good deal. In fact, it's a really good deal. And there's something else that comes with it as well. Let's see. Do I have recommendations for MIDI chord generators? Like, I mean, you can literally, we could do it here with the synths as I show you some of this stuff. What I would do is you could just go to your MIDI effects. You could drop in a scale, right? So I'm just pulling something random in here, right? And this just makes sure that whatever you hit, it's going to be the right notes. Give it just a second. There we go. And we can choose a key. Let's do D. Oops. doesn't really matter. Why am I fussing? And then I would do a chord, put that before. And we could just do, let's say, one 7 semitones up. This will do 12. And let's do kind of a weird one. Since this is going to correct it, we can do something like this and it'll still keep it in key. And then just with one key, we can have a chord that is correct. And let's get into some of the synth sounds. So yeah, that's how I would do chords. I'll just turn these off for now. Really, really cool stuff. So, and then we've got leads here. Let's see. Yeah, no problem, Drew. Hope that helped. Yeah, so we got leads. Let me jump into here. So we got a bunch of sampled leads here. And this is before you add any effects or whatever, so you could do all kinds of things as well. More leads. And then I add the click creator as well, because a lot of times certain synth sounds don't cut through the mix that much. So by adding an extra layer of just a little bit of a, in here, okay, so we've got wild effects chain here. I could just turn it off for now. But yeah, loads and loads of stuff that you can do with the effect rack. But yeah, just when you have that going on with a lead, and then we could come over here and not sure how loud this is. We could actually just grab a utility, turn it up so that we can hear it. It's weird, I do have a pretty fast computer, but while you're streaming, if I turn it up, you can kind of hear the snap. Yeah, loads of different stuff to just help your sounds cut through. I found that that's really, really important in making clean sounds. Then we've got atmospheric sounds, we've got stabs, and the stabs run through, I've got loads of different stab effect chains. So this might be kind of fun to use the, let's see here. Oh yeah, we got a chords rack right here, so we can play with that. Turn this on. All right, and then we can choose the different types of chains. And then we could turn on our effect chains. Yeah, and those are stabs. Then we've got tracks for vocals. Obviously, you record your vocals in here. Got some basic effects and stuff. And filter sweeps. Just a second here. Someone's blowing me up. Yeah, filter rack, you can never have too much of that. The noise, we've got white noise, oops, pink noise, I don't know why I'm not hearing that, and then brown noise. There might be some sort of thing turning it down that I don't know. But yeah, 3 different types of noise. Let me see if I put it here. Oh, yeah, not 100% sure why. But yeah, 3 types of noises that you can ramp or do whatever sort of stuff. Those are all useful, so I just put them right into the rack. But it's turned off, so it doesn't distract you. And then reverse effects. We've got these effects, and then I think over here I've got, yeah, I've got some reverse sounds here. And so forth. Then a bunch of tracks for sample chops. And then utilities. I got a reverb tester here. Basically, you're able to run noise into the reverb, and it gives you a much better idea of the effect that the reverb is actually having before you apply it to stuff. So, right? So that way you can really hear like what reflect is doing. Diffuse, the amount of decay, and so forth. So once you have that dialed in, you can drag a reverb to an effector or anything, I mean, to an instrument, and you'll kind of nail that sound. I don't use this a lot, But anytime I'm having trouble trying to get the right reverb, this is a really great way to use it. So I added that as well. So that is the master template. And now I'm going to show you, I've included some really great drum machines as well. I've got a collection of vintage drum machine kits. If I come over here real quick, I'll just open this up. Here, if I come to instruments, drum rack, and got all these different kits that can be dragged in. I've got the R70 kits. R70 is a really great drum machine, and also the R8 drum machine, so I can just drag that in. Hang tight, pop it in. Oh, let me get out of there. Yeah, I could just drop it in here. And here we go. We've got all the different sounds from the R8, which is and then we've also got, here's all the vintage drum machines here. So this is going to be included with the master template just on this promo. Normally this is sold separate, but here are all the different drum kits for all these different sorts of drums. I think there's around 70 of them, so there's quite a bit. So I can't show you all the sounds, but yeah, that is that's what I wanted to share with you guys. If you think that the master template could be helpful for you, there should be information in the description. I'm going to have to switch it out later. Right now it's on a promo, so if right now you want it, it'll be up for just a few more minutes, and I'm going to be taking it off right after I go off of live, which I'm going to do right around now. First, I'll take some questions if you guys have any. Be happy to talk about music production or about anything that I've talked about here. And if not, I can cut loose and bid you guys a fantastic day. So let's see here. Yeah. I know there's a little latency, so I'll wait for just a second. And if there's no questions, I will cut loose. All right, then. I'm going to cut loose. Have a fantastic day, guys. And I'll speak to you guys real soon. I'll be posting more production videos and stuff, sharing, some of the music I'm doing. I just wanted to share the master template, and because it's so in depth. Oh, one thing I didn't share is that there's also all these different return tracks. So I'll just share that with you real quick. So if I have, I'll just take this side sheet because it's just a hi-hat anyway, right? I could show you what each of these does. The dub I'm not going to go into, but it's really, really cool. 3/16, quarter note, which you can't hear because it's playing at the same time of these, so it's more transparent. Short reverb, medium reverb, and long reverb. And then I have saturation, add some dirt to it. Parallel compression, probably not great on just a hi-hat. And then I have head candy, which what I would do is just kind of turn it up short. And then it just makes this really cool sound all around your head. Really good for just creating some movement and sounds and things like that. Really, really fun. So there you go. That is it. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'm going to get out of here. Take it easy.